All right, there we go. So good early morning, and thank you for joining in. And let's come to sit for a moment. I really enjoy this time coming together. Even though we're not physically in the same room, we're all in the same space. So this week we're working with the Akasha Mudra, which translates as space. So you bring your middle finger to your thumb tip, and then the other fingers stay relaxed and extended, and you can bring your palms open on your legs. Feel free to close your eyes. And so just here for a moment as we're cultivating that quality of space, you might notice just the space that comes around you, the space of your room. And then start to tune in a little bit more into the body sense. And perhaps you can notice space between your fingers. Or space between your toes. And how space is supporting you as you're sitting with yourself. I was reading a little bit about the space and air element, and one of the qualities when a space element is balanced is compassion. When we have clear thinking, abundance of ideas, and an uplifting or a light way of being. Sometimes when we have too much space, we feel scattered or impatient, or we're kind of just feel like we're going in circles. And the yoga practices help support our way back to balance, to equanimity. So we're cultivating a lightness in ourselves, just allowing there to be that space that's already there to arise. Let's bring your hands together just in front of your heart and bow your head to yourself, to each other, and release your hands and open your eyes. And we're just going to start lying on your back for a short bit of time in our short time together. So you can grab a belt and grab a blanket and roll the blanket up into a roll in a way that you can lie with it vertically across your spine, just from your shoulder blades up to your head. A rolled mat works nice as well, but we'll go with the rolled blanket. Probably most of you have that rather than an extra mat. So all you need is to roll it up. You can roll it up pretty thickly from a rectangle shape here, and then place it vertically on your mat. And then your bra strap line will go on this folded bottom edge today. And you'll have your strap nearby again. Okay. All right. So with the belt, the blanket rather, here at the bottom edge of the shoulder blades, make sure it's not too low down into your mid back, but right opposite bottom of the breastbone here. This can be a pretty sticky part of the vertebrae for us. It's right sort of where your diaphragm lives in the back. And so when this area of the tissue gets a little tense or tight, it can restrict our breathing, and it can just create tension through the shoulders sometimes, in the neck. So let's just be here for a moment. Keep your feet flat on the floor, knees bent. And you can let your arms span out to the side if you like. Relaxing your face and your jaw for a moment. Just take 3 slow center body breaths in, filling around as if you have a balloon, filling with air on the inhale, moving into the front, sides, and back of the body, and then exhaling all the way out. Okay. And inhaling again. Just 3 slow breaths here, just feeling into your whole torso. Okay, now after your 3rd breath there, let's just come over to the awareness of your right shoulder with your right arm down by your side. So bring your arms down to your side again. I'm just going to roll the right shoulder, some shoulder rolls with your hand on the floor. Now, if you want to just make those a little bit more specific, you can lift the shoulder up away from the floor and then let it drop back down. You could also take your shoulder up towards your ear and then down towards your waist. So your shoulder can move in many different ways here. So just getting a sense. And then let that go and do the same thing for the left shoulder. So you can either do some circles if you want, or you can be more specific, going up towards the sky, down towards the floor, and then up towards the ear and down towards the waist, just sort of saying good morning to your shoulder blades. And then let everything settle and sensing right into where the blanket is now, right in the spine, and you'll feel the inner border of your shoulder blades resting against the blanket. And then take your strap and hold your hands out shoulder width apart. And again, just once we've moved our arms, you might have created a little bit of tension again. So just relax your arms. And again, focusing on the inner border of the shoulder blades there. And then begin to reach the arms towards the sky. Feel the shoulder blades come away from the floor a little more, and then let them slowly slide back down, meeting the inner border of the shoulder blades again on the blanket. So your hands and wrists are really relaxed here, and even the sides of your neck, jaw relax. Everything is relaxed, and you're just tuning into the upper back here. And then the next time that your arms relax, the shoulders relax, take the belt towards the wall behind you, and then back up to the sky. And can you feel how your shoulder blades against the blanket there change position or change the way they meet the blanket? So very specific in the attention to the shoulder blades here. A couple more like this. So you're aware of your breath. Your breath is moving through your abdomen. Okay. And then bring your strap away for a moment. Bring your arms back to your side and just let everything settle here. One more breath. And then we'll roll to your side. Press yourself up away from the floor. Move your blanket aside. And let's come into a puppy pose now. So you can have your toes tucked under, knees hip distance apart, hands reach forward, and then draw the hips back. So you're stretching away from your arms. And feel a little bit as you press down with your fingers, feel a little bit of lift and space under the arms now. Notice the space between the floor and your arms, all the way up to the underarms, lengthening through the side body and back through the hips. And then come into a table position. So your shoulders are more over the wrists. You can always have your hands even back a little bit or forward a little bit. What feels good for your wrists and your hands here? And then just keeping your right hand where it is, take your left hand, reach it behind your right arm, palm up, and just take a little twist. Now, can you sense here as you're rotating that you're feeling your left rib cage rotate downward and your right side of your rib cage rotate upward a little? And then push through the hand, come back to neutral, and then do that a few times. Same side. So what we're looking for here is the rib cage turning, pelvis is staying level. So if you had a cup of tea or coffee or latte or something on your sacrum, it wouldn't drop down, wouldn't spill. Okay, so we're just reaching through the air there, and then we'll switch. Bring left hand under the left shoulder, right hand palm open, and arm behind your arm and reach. And just, so your shoulder, your right shoulder blade is connected to your arm here. And so that's helping to move you along into the rotation. Let's do just one or two more here. And then both hands back to the floor, walk the hands forward, puppy pose, lengthen the hips back, and press down through the finger pads slightly. Feel the lift, the space under the arms. And then feel the space between your ribs, between your shoulders and your hips here. And then come forward onto your stomach. And just bring your, stack your palms one over top of the other and rest your forehead down on your hands. And then keeping your legs nice and relaxed now. Let's see how this goes here. We're just going to lift, keep the palms and the head down, and just lift the elbows a little bit. And see how that feels in your upper back, and then lower the elbows down. So you don't have to go super high here. In fact, we don't want to activate the neck. Really, we're just moving the shoulders and arms, shoulder blades and arms away from the floor. So the elbows are lifting, but the palms are staying down. Let's see how that feels there. And then put the other hand on top just to switch it out. Forehead rests down on your hand. And now maybe your elbows only come off the floor half an inch. We don't want to create tension through the upper shoulders and neck. All right, and then go ahead and slide the hands by the sides of the chest. Take the hands a little wider perhaps and come up into a little cobra this morning. Easy, easy cobra. Nothing too, too grand or huge here. And then lower back down and press back into puppy pose. Tuck the toes under, walk the hands forward again, and feel the space under the arms and through the sides of the torso from hips to shoulders. And then walk your hands back in towards you. Come up to a tall kneel now and take your right leg out to the right side. Now, if you need your left knee down on some blanket, that's fine. All right, and you can have the inside edge of your right foot down. Right hand on the leg, left hand, let's take it behind, fingertips behind the left ear. Take a side bend towards the extended leg. And feel the space now increasing on the left side between your shoulder and your hip. And feel a bit of a contraction on the right side. So we're closing the space on the right side. And then if you like, you can add the left arm coming up alongside the ear. I'm still feeling the contraction on the right here. And then slowly come up and just take your other leg out. So gate pose, left leg out to the left side. And then bring your right fingertips behind your ear first. Slide your left hand down the leg and feel the space increasing from right hip to right shoulder. And a little contraction through the left side. Then you can reach the right arm alongside the ear if you like. So use your breath now to open up space in this right side. And then bring your arm back down, come back up, and take your knees back in and come into hands and knees again. And now tuck the toes under, press your finger pads into the floor and float the knees off the ground. So we're adding a little bit of strength now into the upper back. And then shift the hips back to downward dog. Keep the bend in the knees and the heels raised, just so that it's kind of a crouching dog here. So you're really getting some space in your hips. In fact, you can take your feet a little wider if you want, almost like you're squatting back. All right, one more breath here. And then touch the knees back down to the ground. Rise back up one more time. On your knees, take your right foot forward into lunge. Left knee can be on some support. Take your arms out in front of you, palms together, and interlace your fingers, and then press the palms away. Broadening through the shoulders and the back body. Now we'll slowly here inhale, and then unwind your fingers, reach your right arm back, opening up into a little twist. Left arm reaches forward. Then tilt forward, bring your hand down to the floor or the block, your left hand, and straighten your back knee, coming into a little straight-legged lunging twist here. And then bring the back knee down, push through your feet, come back up into that helicopter twist. Good. Bring your arms out in front of you again, interlace your fingers, flip the palms, and this time take the arms up towards the sky, any amount here. Mine don't feel like they want to go up too high yet. Just reaching through the finger pads and the palms. And then bring your hands down, switch your legs here in space. So we'll do the other side. Left foot forward. Interlace fingers. Maybe you want to put the other index finger on top. Palms go forward. Softening through the shoulders. Neck and jaw relaxed. Release the clasp, sweep the left arm back. You're turning to the left. So your legs and pelvis stay more to the front. And then bow forward, right hand to the floor of the block, straighten the back leg. I'm finding I need a little more height under my right hand, so I turn my block up in order for me to feel more spaciousness in the twist with my top arm. So you're just always seeking that space that's already there and just allowing it to be more present. Okay, bring your hand back down. Oh, sorry, keep the twist actually. Right knee down, come back up into that low lunge twist. And then hands come forward. And this time, instead of interlacing, let's bring them around the back, interlace back behind you, broadening the front body. Send the breath right across the collarbones here. And then release your hands and come to stand. Push through your back foot. You can take your blanket to the side. Turn to face the long edge of your mat. And turn your legs out a little bit here. From a wide stance, sit into goddess pose. Legs are coming up towards the upright torso here. Take your arms into cactus. Where can you sense space here? Maybe space between the ears and shoulders, or space between the shoulders and the hips, or maybe the space between your feet or your hands. Straighten your legs, take your arms out to the side, like a 5-pointed star here. Turn your left leg in and your right leg out. And we'll take a triangle pose here, bending over the right leg, reaching your left arm from the shoulder up through the hand. Now, if your hand is low, your bottom hand is low, bring it up more above your knee and take your other hand to your hip. So you're more of a diagonal here instead of out parallel to the floor. And then just peek down at your front foot, step your back foot in, and we're gonna just float the back leg off the floor. So we're coming into a kind of a different expression of half moon here. No hands. So just feel how the pelvis is turned open. You're balancing on your bottom foot there, of course. And then reach back, finding that wide stance again, and come into warrior two. Take the palms open to the sky now. Look over the front hand. Feel the space around you. Back behind you, above, and even below. Take the back hand to the hip, take the top or the front hand up, side bend. Space between the shoulders and the hips. And then come straighten the front leg, second side. So let's turn the right leg in, the left leg out. Coming into triangle pose first. Boy, this 30 minutes goes fast. Now, if you're further down or your bottom hand's on a block, come upright more in this angled position. Bring your hands to your hips and look down at the front foot and then start to step in. So you're initiating the balance with an upright torso. So the torso is tipping towards the floor by way of a hip hinge here on this left hip. So your pelvis is open. And just finding that balance point there. Right? And then reach back with your leg, nice and strong, coming up into warrior two. Palms open. You can look over the front hand. And then reverse your warrior. Sometimes we just need a little space, right? We feel closed in, or there's just too much going on. So we just remember that space is all around us. It's always present. It's related to the ether element. It's penetrating, it's opening. All right, come on back up, turn the feet back towards one another, step your feet back together. And we're gonna come back just briefly on the ground, grab your belt now. And if you have a loop in your belt, make a very big loop, like so. Like as mine's pretty much the whole span of the loop, or the whole span of the strap, rather. And once you have your big loop, you'll lay on your back. Feel free to put something under your head if you want. And then we're going to take your loop and place it around the bottom of the right foot. And you'll take your hands inside the loop. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You can put the strap between the webbing of your thumb and index finger, and you can have your hands palms together, or you can have your hands a little bit apart. So starting in with your right foot down on the floor here, your arms will be forward inside the belt loop. And then you can straighten the leg. So you straighten the right leg on the floor, left knee stays bent. And then begin to lift your right leg up, and your arms are doing a little bit to help the leg come up. So this is taking a little walk between your hips and shoulders here. So you're just going to go until you don't want to feel your low back mush into the floor. Okay, so we're going to go forward and back, bringing the leg down. So you are using leg strength to bring the leg up, but your hands are drawing along, helping along. And then when you're going down with your leg is sort of pulling your arms a little bit. So find that balance there. The idea here is that your spine stays neutral. In other words, your low back doesn't flatten into the floor. We'll just do a few of these. Not about getting far in the range of motion, but just connected. Okay, and I'm going to do one more on this side. And then we'll just switch. So the strap is around the bottom of the left foot, left leg starts straight. And then you can bring the leg up and the arms come up and follow. Just a nice, smooth range of motion, and your spine is staying rather neutral here the whole way. You might find that one leg has a little more mobility than the other. That's okay. All right, so I'll do two more on this side. And then we'll bring your leg back down, take your strap to the side, and just stretch your legs out. Take a little space, generous space between your feet, and maybe have your arms a little out further away from the side body so you can feel space in the side chest. Sensing the space between the ears and the shoulders. And sensing the space between the toes. And you sense the space inside your torso, receiving the breath. The space inside the lungs. Now, if you have some time to stay here a little longer, feel free. Otherwise, as you're ready, you can roll to one side and just start the process of coming back up into sitting again.